Hopefully, something running in the kitchen will not be too noisy. But I'm going to come in here anyway, so. And actually, yeah, the radio isn't on. Oh, okay, this is on. Whoops. Okay, so actually, yeah, I've gotten an interesting topic kind of inspired. So let's see where we can go with it, because it's a little bit. It's not as late, or the evening was kind of going slow. It's picking up a little bit though, but it's still not quite bedtime. So I'm going to do this second stream tonight. I suppose earlier I never said that I wasn't. So sometimes, and yeah, my health, I've been feeling so today, but I enjoy the streaming, although I'm not too sure why it's saying that. So let me just check for a moment here. Yeah. Now it's fine. Okay. So, that's the topic. Got 54 characters. How long is this little blurb I've been posting in lately? I don't know, but let's try and edit it in the moment a little bit too. There wasn't that many ands. I'm just kind of getting set up, so just give me a moment, please. I appreciate your patience. You're welcome to come into the chat and introduce yourself. Okay, I thought my eyes were going to put it right there, maybe, but I think there was somebody there a moment ago. I think. But judge too quickly, or just bouncing around a lot, or the device maybe died or whatever. I don't know. What's weird is that. Oh, you know what? I think it put it there twice. So just a moment. Okay, I don't know what that did there. But there's 56 room for 56 more letters. That looks like what this is about. Actually, I think it was exactly the amount that it could be, which is 100. So it should be. Oh, right. So I guess that's more than 56. Right. If I do the math. So let me see here. So I'm just trying to put a little blurb in the comments for those that are scrolling. It's got stickers selected as on, but even when I don't notice that, it still shows them sometimes. What I'm going to do with this one is take it out at the or. There's room for 27 more, and then it's just the one right under. So, okay. So, yeah, that's, the general topic that I have for this one is, as you can see, the ways that we relate and form strength. I mean, I had to word it not necessarily in the exact way I wanted, just to fit things in. But and I wasn't entirely sure the word choice I wanted to use either, but essentially something to the effect of how we welcome how we let me tilt this forward a bit. Okay, yeah, there we go. Of course I can. There we go. Okay, yeah. So the ways that we relate to others, and maybe even ourselves for that matter, um, and form strong connections is what I'm kind of trying to say with that. What kinds of things give you mixed feelings, and then how do you decide um, what to do with those feelings, or decide whether it's a connection you want to have or not. This was kind of inspired by something I watched, and you know, I'm hoping that this particular person I'm thinking of will check out the channel sometime soon. Right now, he's rolling live himself, but I understand that sometimes in writing communication, although he seems to understand me quite well, and be, a good reader and a smart person like many people on YouTube do, but sometimes on other platforms in writing I'm misunderstood, and I'm not too sure. But I can see, it's interesting to see somebody in in their videos in real time reading what I put in the chat, and I'm just gonna go grab my slip-on shoes because my feet are a bit chilly. And I would like to ask that if anybody that I chat with often on here sees this, if you would please be so kind as to, if you actually feel like you struggle to understand what I write a lot of times, please don't tell me, because my writing style is my writing style. In the moment, it's methodical, but it's also very kind of freestyle. And I really get the sense that the people are understanding. Mostly anyway. I mean, the thing is nobody's going to understand in any medium everybody all the time. That's the thing. And I think, an intelligent person will realize that. So sometimes you have to put a little bit of effort into it or whatever. But like I say, it's interesting to see people like on live stream chats, like actually seeing them see me and anybody else's writing comments for the most part. It's that gives a feeling of understanding, and that too. That being said, I mean, again, I'm not trying to say anything bad about the person, and I'm not too far into this yet. And like, I don't know if it's just a so memory, because life can be hectic and there's lots of people saying lots of things. It could be that. I know that I said it. I know the moment that I know the experiences that we experience with, people online, and in general, but lately it's a bit more online right now. Um, and I guess that's something to remember too, like, to not necessarily take offense if somebody doesn't remember a special moment that you had online with them, because, yeah, I mean, everybody is different. Some people are going to have busier lives than other people. Some people are going to have busier live streams. I mean, I've only just started this one, but and it might kind of blur together. I don't know, because like I told this guy, I have so much respect for him, and lots of other great things. In fact, I've been meaning to reference some of the conversation. Um, he had to do his stream in two different ones today, and that may or may not, if he sees this later, I mean, there are lots of people that, because of a technical reason, or misclick or whatever, end up doing that. And I was near the beginning both times, I think, because just the view count, and it was quite high, and then jumped. And anyway, um, uh, I guess I'll start with this, because I mean, after this one, I'm not going to be live streaming till tomorrow night, so there's a possibility. Sorry for the background noise. I wouldn't have started that, well, till, I guess, since knowing that I don't stream during the day at this, except for on the weekends now. Well, no, you didn't answer that part. I wouldn't have started that. It was just part of the tidying up, I guess, that he was doing. I wouldn't have started that until tomorrow during the day. But and what was nice is it didn't need to go on. But anyway, basically, yeah. I guess what I'd like to say, other than, for the, and I guess this might make it obvious, but again, I'm really not trying to say anything bad about anybody, really, especially not someone as laid back and cool and nice and down to earth and talented and beautiful as the person I'm talking about. But um, and unless I really have some good valid reason, yeah, I wouldn't be doing otherwise. But word that should be in the dictionary. Well, most every word is in the dictionary, so I mean, I don't know. But I'm just gonna put on this muscle rub, so don't mind me. Uh, but and if Wendy sees this, I think we need to kind of phase out of this little inside joke that we have made because we don't we don't have a good explanation for it, and it does sound funny, and it was kind of funny, and in that in the time when it was stated, I think it was probably, and maybe a couple other times it came up, probably good enough. But yeah, no, I don't know if I should say his name or not. To be honest, um, I only know what he goes by on here and a first name. Um, you know, and I don't, I could see how he might think, or anybody might think this is talking behind someone's back. But I think if it's done in respect and it's not gossiping maliciously or doing anything, ill towards about somebody, I really, and I mean, yeah, I really don't think that there's really a problem. And even though I think I come across just fine in writing, and I think that him and others have noticed that, um, I think it truly, and some people agree to things quicker, and I mean, like, yeah, like pretty close to right away. He's like, yeah, I think the timing is great. Let's pick a day, and that sounds great. But then, even while live and doing what he was doing, he started to think about it a bit, and he's kind of teetered, and I'm not exactly sure why, or I don't necessarily know if that's really. Uh, I keep thinking the phrase. Maybe he's thinking too much about it. Just do it. I'm sure it will go well, but if it doesn't, then it doesn't. Uh, but that's kind of my thought on it. And the reason I asked, other than talking about our life journeys, which I'm sure we have some similarities and some differences, like anybody else, but I think we definitely have a lot of similarities. The other reason, and then there's the musical component, and I just put some of that muscle rub I had on my face, and I just sort of touched my eye with it, but I don't know if I need to do anything about it yet. And the dishwasher's kind of running, but so basically, yeah, it's kind of those reasons, and because I know we'll get along, and so hopefully that becomes obvious to this individual and anybody else who sees my streams. I mean, to some it has already, but that that can be a thing. Anytime that happens, which is rare, I always think it would be so amusing if the same person that tuned in once before when I thought it was lotion, but it was a body wash, and I had some still in my eye. I mean, really, any of it, especially if it's highly perfumed, then you touch your eye and it's kind of like stings a bit. And I just think it'd be kind of ironic if that person tunes in again as it's happening again. But yeah, so I really think I've kind of stated why I think that it makes sense. Um, um, yeah, I'm still very happy to say that I've got two uh, guest interviews lined up. I hope that thing will devices and I think I just said screencast. I think that's the main thing. Or taking the description. I thought that might be an option too. Or like my friend, he plays them on his TV. So if we have to, I can just somehow have my screen facing his, and it would show him and me on the screen. Be a bit different, but I think it could work. Because it's been a little while, and I know there's been times when it behaved, and there's been one or two times where I've had to do it on the other person's channel. And actually, that one person that I'm thinking of in particular, although he became very fake and confusing, I must admit, but um, he had me on his pretty quickly. I don't know. He knew I was musical. He was curious about what I did, and he was a decent host. This is somebody else talking about, but he was a decent host to his streams. But I think he had a bit of nervousness on. I think he had a bit of nervousness when he was streaming, and so or like he was into it, and he liked creating, and he liked doing music, but but he didn't necessarily like to be the main attraction sometimes. And actually, he said he was a twin too. But then that was one of the parts that was confusing. At one point, he said it was his cousin. When I mean, they looked very much alike, and he said it was his twin. So I mean, this other person was his twin, and it still suggested me when I hit him because yeah, it was really odd. Anyway, there's four of you here, so I want to welcome you in. But yeah, so yeah, and then the second time we did an interview, and that had to be on his too because I could. But I think we've got a couple of well, one feels stronger than the other, and I don't know if he actually had ever subscribed to me. To be honest, it's not because he disliked me or didn't want to. No, it just as zero actually. But I don't know if he ever did. It was one of those ones where I think he had intended to, or thought that he did, but I don't know if I ever remember seeing that he did. He may have. We actually formed connection off of YouTube too. I mean, maybe I shouldn't be speaking about that, but it's happened a few times, and I feel like um, it's sometimes it is meant to be that So I think that's fine. Um, uh, you know, um, Part of me thinks that we'll know pretty quickly, on that topic. Whoops. Uh, uh, Part of me thinks that we'll know pretty quickly, and is hopefully people are being honest and genuine and real and down to earth and laid back, uh, and having good intentions. And then yeah, I think that we can. Yeah, there's some benefits to one-on-one, honestly, and then there's also benefits or times when it's makes just most sense just for it to be within the group chat. Like I said, I haven't been rolling this one very long, so um, but huh. um, yeah. So basically, man, I bring these slip-on shoes over here, and then I'm not wearing them. um, but it is late. I might do more on this earlier in the evening. Well, I mean, with how eager and excited he kind of initially seemed, I honestly we just want to watch a lot of videos with each other tonight because we did watch some live videos, which was kind of different. Me and G to watch live with each other. Um, I found an interesting reggae country, not country, but like reggae farm band. Um, Honestly, they look more indigenous and Asian, but they were pretty good. But the one song wasn't moving quite at a tempo that held our attention. But anyway, that doesn't mean that something isn't good, and maybe we need to give it a bit more focus or not judge too quickly. Like I did subscribe to the channel and I kept the subscription there. So I mean, but yeah, so that's kind of the topic though, is ways we okay, you go back. At least it looks like you did. Like, I'll subscribe, we'll check it out later, like you said, but not right now, I need to get to bed. Possibly, possibly. I'm finding that that's a bit, in a way, my sense of humor in doing these lately, too. So I don't know where that just fell. Did that joke land like the lid of my water just did? But that's from one I already recycled. That the lid was. I guess I didn't know where it was at the time. But anyway, so yeah, so best part of a birthday. Nostalgia, remembering when you were young. I don't know. The cake, obviously. I don't. I wouldn't even. Yeah, so I went. They said, yeah, kind of. That'd be really ironic. No, it's not. But yeah, basic. I don't think, but almost, man, almost. um, um, yeah, certainly not the gift. That becomes somewhat less important as one gets a bit older. I find. I mean, every now and then, I suppose it is nice, but anyway. So I'm just gonna take a few moments. I don't know if I. Yeah, but it's true. What were they ever did? You know, one thing comes to mind, and it's not entirely untrue, but it wouldn't be, I would say, the main reason. Uh, um, and that's the thing. I think I'm pretty consistent with my style, and you know, I am who I am naturally, and that's just all that any of us really can be. It's what makes the most sense. As humans, we will have days where we are maybe a bit more tired or stressed than other days, or takes us a bit longer to kind of settle into the streaming or whatever. But um, yeah, it's good. Um, it's weird that I can't click the exit, and the photos show now. That's different. Although, oh, I see. Yeah, that was just a different thing. Yeah. So I'm probably not gonna roast super long because I gotta call it an evening soon. But um, and I'm struggling with my focus. I think because I'm tired and I'm just struggling with my focus with this one. But I do think it's a good topic, and quite possibly the less I say, the more. I mean, it could go either way with that. The more I say, the more people might think of to say themselves. But also, the less I say, perhaps that the more others might kind of come into the comments. Because honestly, most of it's in the live stream. Most of the conversation. I'm not really sure why that is. I think some people may look and see there's not a lot of comments, but we can't always go by the numbers because sometimes there's a lot of chat. Um, I mean, this has only been 23 minutes, and sometimes they're quicker than others for any of us, really. Uh, but I'll wait till there's somebody here, and I'll continue. But always, always, yeah, and I know. first of all, I also would like to take this opportunity to say that if the certain person that I'm thinking might sees this, or anybody else for that matter. I mean, like I'm thinking of one of my upcoming guests. Like there's not a lot planned, but there was a slow spurt for a while there with this, and it's picking up again, and it's still fairly early in the year, so I'm quite happy about that. If one of the people that I'm thinking of in particular sees this, I mean, he does understand ADHD, and I see it. Like I know how much he wants to play the music and how much that's important to his channel, and I'm not, saying anything bad about him either way again. But it's kind of like I noticed that he, you know, really loves and feeds from that from that connecting, even if he kind of misses pieces in the written as opposed to seeing in video or in person, that some people may struggle more with than others. He you know but I want it to be said that, like, you know if this comes across as me not being very focused, uh, I have kept the dialogue momentum going pretty steadily, as I usually do, for about 26 minutes. There's nobody here at the moment. I've gotten a couple of likes, I've noticed, but um, it is also kind of late. And I'm just, yeah, I am a little bit distracted, and I'll admit that. But I'll say this much. I guess two things. For those who I have upcoming plans to interview or be interviewed by, because that's cool too, or those that I are not currently kind of in the talks, in the works, but still might be, fun to do that with. Those that have, an interesting job or a passion. Those are the kind of the main areas. Like I don't want to just say job, because not everybody's employed, or not everybody likes their job and really would want to talk about it that much. Although it was interesting that there was somebody in this guy's chat that I swear may have been G's former boss. The last name may have been shortened slightly, but otherwise. And I tried to ask it, if she was a female and if she lived in any other provinces in recent years, and she really didn't say. Some people, I think, they just come in to just talk to the streamer, and they're not really paying that much attention to the other chatters. But everybody's different that way too, right? But yeah, no. What I wanted to say is, first of all, in any interviews that I've ever done, or almost all of them, on either side of things, I'm very focused on the person I'm talking to. That and same with if it's in the chat and it's just people chatting on a live stream. That being said, again, there is the ADHD, and honestly, it's no different than friends sitting with each other and them all being on their devices. Now, I know that some people will say, and I just want to top up my water in a moment. I know that some people will say, yeah, that's not the right way to socialize, and devices, divide and do not facilitate proper connection, or however they want to say it. But I'm here to somewhat disagree with that. I feel like, for a moment, I think that it is important for someone to feel like you're interested in valuing them, and for the other person to feel like the other person is doing the same. Um, and I think that's very obvious. I guess I just kind of feel like, well, like, see, here's a perfect example that just came to mind. Unless it's something that you may be already talking about, just going to kind of put one in the other here. Unless it's something that you're kind of talking about and made you think of something and you're wanting to show it to them, or trying to find, a certain video, then, but it's like the difference of like somebody having their device there while you're talking, and like making occasional eye contact, and adding to the conversation, as opposed to like you're talking to them and they're playing some other video and not responding at all. But that's what I was gonna say. Like I was multitasking here because it's been kind of quiet. I'm kind of tired because it's late, and there's some things I wanted to do, you know. But very unlikely that I would be doing that when interviewing somebody. And again, if I did, I can divide my attention. Sure, I might have to ask for something to be repeated occasionally, but that can happen even when somebody's not looking at their device. You know, technology, I think a lot of us can understand this that use it. You know, which, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there are still the occasional people that don't have cell phones or whatever. I mean, currently I'm learning to, I have to replace mine. But I find it kind of odd or interesting that, yeah, that's a bit better, I think. I don't know, actually. I don't know. It's kind of cool, but I know it makes me distracted. So, that some people, so many people are using devices these days. And, one that she says that when I'm with my kids or my fiance, she doesn't. But and I think that's pretty rare. And I really don't know what to think about it, I guess. But yeah, it's kind of like um, it's the norm. But I will say this that, and I mean, again, I don't know how anybody, although people do have opinions about how it's not the greatest or whatever, because it is. It's we're all doing it. We're all doing it. At all ages, and it's just a part of the human fabric now, so to speak. But I mean, yeah, I'll just speak for myself, and I know I'm not the only one. That, like, I'm holding down a pretty decent conversation, although it's just me talking, and I wish that there was some comments happening in this particular one. But it's just people are watching other things, people are doing other things. The Alex aren't helping with this one. The earlier one today was pretty good, although I was familiar with the two people, but still they were happy to be here chatting. But it's kind of like, but I'm still, even if I'm not feeling a ton of energy, I'm still kind of keeping the momentum going as best as I can. Uh, 32, all right. I'm, um, and I'm multitasking. And not to toot my own bugle, but maybe I think I'm doing pretty darn good. Thank you. So, it's, yeah. So, it's a skill that I have. I think some people maybe don't have it. But yeah, it's that being said, I still try not to, seriously, someone from my high school days that I almost was sort of thinking of recently. Anyway, I still try not to be distracted in certain conversations, but it will happen from time to time. I mean, of course, if both devices are needing to be used, for what we're actually doing, then it's harder to use it for other distractions. I guess that's also true. Um, I want to say a little bit more, or try to say a little bit more on on the topic, though. Truly, um, because it's there, and it's in the title too. I mean, it's. I figure why not, right? You know, I think it's a pretty good one. It might be one that there's like a continue tomorrow night, but so I'm just gonna wait till somebody tunes in, and then we'll look at it again a bit deeper. I think that's the other thing. It doesn't always just so it doesn't always let me get it. Yeah. Well, that's getting interesting, especially with music coming up. So yeah, ways we relate and form strengths. or form a strong connection. I would say, and this isn't just about my opinions. Okay, the person left, so that's not how. you know, I mean, you were just there for like a moment. Um, you know, and not to again toot my own bugle as I say, but I know that doesn't say anything about me or my character. I mean, and honestly, it could sometimes be that some people are wanting to watch, and as soon as they come in, the device dies or whatever, or they click out because they had to plug in their device and they hadn't realized it. I mean, truly, it does happen, right? But I think it's finding the common ground, the common interests, and then there's always going to be differences between people. Um, Everybody's got their own personality, their own interests and such. But, I think two people, I'll say this too, thinking of that particular person who I hope to interview soon. I think you'll know who you are when you hear this. But um, it's just a thought that just came to mind, so I'll say it. Um, I think any two people who realize that we as people are, I mean, let's be honest, not everybody is going to gel. Not everybody on to everybody. I mean, that just wouldn't make sense. But I do think that we should try and be kind and loving to anybody that we comes into our awareness and come into contact with. And have respect for them, and empathy and understanding. I do feel that for sure. But any two people, or not just two even, but any people that have the motto mantra feeling. Oh my goodness, that's uh, that's going into creative something, a creative something. And there's actually been two or three times recently where I've kind of come up with. Yeah, I didn't put it as both. Uh, I kind of have came up with a title idea. Um, I thought, oh, that sounds lyrical, and I'd be happy to collab as well. But I don't want to forget the thought that I was saying. So that has the motto mantra feeling. It sounds cool. But you know what? Please don't steal that idea. You could do your own thing with it. Maybe have a slightly altered title to that. We can collab and give each other credit. You know. But yeah, I feel like in this day and age, sometimes you got to say that kind of thing, right? But that we're all more alike than we are different. I think that's a pretty solid person to connect with. They're not the person that's sure you may notice the differences. It may be hard not to, but you put more more focus on the similarities, and you know that. Yeah, you put more focus on the similarities, and I think that is a good thing. That's for sure. That was a bigger area than I thought it was. So, um, yeah, I'll repeat it again because there wasn't anybody here when I said it a moment ago because I've been rolling that long. Anybody who sees that or feels that as people we are more alike than we are different from each other, I feel like it's a pretty solid person. It's a pretty solid type of person to be connected to. It's I don't even want to call it a strength and a skill. I mean, it should feel pretty normal and natural to kind of be looking for those kind of things. That being said, I guess I would say it is kind of true that maybe sometimes we shouldn't act too quickly. It's like, oh, I see it. Okay, I'm gonna kind of act on it now, kind of thing. But I think we also should trust if we're feeling those feelings and we're feeling them more often than not, or we're feeling, you know, there's the whole phrase "don't judge a book by its cover." There's the whole phrase or the whole concept of first impressions. I will say though that I think that there are some people that at first don't come across as well as they could otherwise or otherwise may. That, in other words, it takes some warming up to some people. And again, I'm not saying that in a kind of deceiving way. It's just that some people, whether it's because of an autism spectrum disorder, whether it's because of a sense of humor or a personality, it just you sometimes have to. It sometimes takes getting a sense of somebody, whether that's through listening or, and I almost think this one's better, but kind of both. Both, yeah, interchangeably at the same time. Where did you go? You were just here for a second. Anyway, uh, like literally. Anyway, where it's kind of like you have a conversation, you listen, and it is. It's a little bit different online. Basically, I'm just a little bit surprised. Like for instance, this guy said he wants to see if we're aligned with each other. Well, we've talked on like 3 or 4 of his videos now. We've always gotten along. We're both pretty easy to get along with, and I'm thinking, how do we not? How is it uncertain whether we're aligned or not? But again, language is one of those things too, and I mean, it could have been meaning if our ideas are aligned, or whatever. And I did. I tried to kind of clarify. Uh, this is what I'm kind of thinking for if I have you on my stream, and he seems for that. So I don't know. I'm thankful for the ones that I feel are very likely to be coming up. I could say there's about 3 in the next week or two, and then possibly this fourth, and then um, that'll maybe actually keep me pretty. I mean, I have quite a bit of spare time. I don't have the busiest schedule in my life at this point in things. So, I mean, to some people that might be like a plus with their other schedule. That's plenty. To me, I mean, I'm thankful. I'm thankful, but that's why I want more of them because I enjoy doing those as well as just general streaming or whatever. I enjoy doing those, but also, yeah, because the other person, she said, probably not till March, maybe February, but probably not till March. And she says yeah, as far as interviewing me, uh, maybe by then, though, she'll be able to be interviewed as well. Or be open, feel that, yeah. Um, but, um, yeah, basically, so I think I kind of touched on that. It's been a little bit hard to get the momentum because the elves have not helped this one. Some of my subs, I guess, have went to bed. Some of them don't know that this is rolling yet, but somebody just tuned in, so welcome, welcome. It's just been one of those quieter ones. Um, what gives? Okay, are we kidding? Yeah. Again, this is not anything I'm doing, wrong. I don't feel like I'm here trying to have a great conversation, casual conversation, share some thoughts. I'd love to be doing music, but I don't know what that would be, and I don't know if I really have the energy for it tonight. And so, if it, honestly, I don't think anybody can really tell anything in just a few seconds. You know, if that's how they're operating or deciding, I don't think that's the way to do it. I almost want to keep this one shorter, but it's already almost an hour, so people are either going to watch it or they aren't. Uh, yeah, I'm going to kind of stick away from those topics that I said that I am not as keen on because follow my follow my own lead on that. Follow the leader, 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 follow the leader. Leading healing, follow the leader, 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 follow the leader. Leading healing. um, yeah, so, you know, I could have been a bit more specific, but both, even though some of the stuff, just transpired before rolling this one, I'm not saying it was negative either. I'm just, it's been a long day and I'm tired. I'm just not really remembering them. And any other format of kind of bringing, I mean, there's not really anyone here listening very much at the moment. Hopefully afterwards. Hopefully maybe near the latter part of this, although we do have an early morning and can't go too late. But other than that, you know, I'll save the other stuff, maybe for either the interview with this person or when I know that they're watching and we're chatting. I'll say, can we talk about some of the stuff from the thing in this mode? See how it might resonate if there's anything that still stands out as feeling like and I mean, yeah, I can either give a memory or say that it just I made some notes. Let's just say that. Uh, um, but yeah. Uh, I think there. I got kind of a late start to this, but it has almost been an hour. And I think he is the type, but even if I can't say for sure, but even if it was a long one, I think he'd say that religious language, that people use, it's not like, you know, people that are quite spiritual in some ways will realize that spirit lives on and they're pretty active sometimes. But he says, I'll watch a little bit, see what I think of it. If I want to watch more later when I get a chance. But I do my own streams, I have my life. And, but he's like, to get a sense. I think he realizes that I don't think it's a necessary part. And, although she did say that she'd seen, the one, and he saw the one, and this other guy, and kind of dealt with it pretty quickly. But yeah, I think that this particular person is going to feel like it's a necessary thing to see me on the video side of things to decide. It's kind of awkward. I mean, I don't really hugely want to get into it and do up the piano in a moment, but I'll never forget. I was kind of surprised, and that was almost the opposite. So maybe I shouldn't say it, but we're 50 minutes in. He used to see me in video before we met, and said something about, which I think is my truest form, to be honest, and said I really wasn't sure what to think or something like that. But well, now he knows 8 years in, so there you have it. And it didn't take that long. It's just that's how long.
No, no, I still don't know what to say.
Well, but then again, neither do I. Sometimes, of myself, of you. But anyway, G's gonna play the piano, and you can, yeah. But no, yeah.
At first.
He was joking, by the way, and hopefully it won't be too noisy. That looks like a cigar. But yeah. Nothing too distracting. It's been nice to get to bed a bit early. And the the I wish some of these were like super obvious. Of course, it's the last name too, which is ironic because yeah, like, there's so many combinations in this and that.
Are you still podcasting?
Yeah, did I stop talking?
Yes,
Did I stop the momentum? No.
Okay.
So make sure you cough naturally. All you have to
Yeah,
do
like
is
you were saying
cough
the other-
naturally.
No, it was a dumb question. I'm so sorry.
Okay. They're gonna put you in the movie. They're gonna make a big star out of it. It's lonely. All they gotta do is act naturally. Clark, Lee, Reva, George, Roger got the right. Y'all, it's too late for a party. But Aunt Kathleen, nice little special letter one there. And somebody that just tuned in as well. What do you name it then? Are here to enjoy the music with us. Whether anybody else makes it uh, in to this part of the stream or not. So, just so you know, so get playing. You don't need to do that much. Gotta keep your head about you. Here's the thing about rolling weight though. What if it picks up just before we're kind of ready to roll? Well, I think I do have an idea as to what to say if it does. And I've said it other times too, so. But let's see. Let's see. Well, then there's all that. But it looks like it showed me all except for that. And that's odd. Okay. Looking for tasty gum. Yep. It doesn't sound like it unless it was in the 20s, like we said. Speaking of putting in the movies. Oh, yes, I meant to look at this. What is this? Very good. Who my messenger calling? That's a different question. Well, it was actually after a nap. And you weren't in it very long, I didn't think, but I was watching stuff, so. Yup, yup, yup. Oh, that's interesting. Administration in front of house for a theater, but unfortunately it's too far for a non-driver to commute to. It's often the case, unfortunately, but I don't see myself driving anytime soon. For health reasons, cost reasons. Veronica, last name is Jordan. It sounds more like Jordan. There was 8 new things. I'm not seeing that many for some reason. Strange but true. And also it's not showing me that whole row. Just taking a bit of a talking break so you can listen to Gene. Let me get this away from me. wonder why there's that gap of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 days maybe. This is major ice, so can't see that. I'm pretty sure it's water. Where's the key? So I'll keep it. I'll keep it. Maybe. It has a, well, it has to get there. It's an old fashioned wood. Oh, which reminds me, we have to place on this. Which one of these do I have it in? I think I know actually. I don't want it. The one I have it in. I'll do it this one. I think he has it open. Actually. I'll do it this one if it behaves. ponds look different. That's something up with those eyes. I must admit. They go back there. Oh, that's right. I have that corner too. Well, maybe I should put them in emails and what. But I don't want to keep seeing it every It's kind of interesting, I think so. Huh. Did you know that there can be... It's weird. I thought my grandmother had glaucoma, but my mother said no, it was my grandfather, and I don't think that's correct. I mean, she should know, but I don't think it's correct. But have you ever seen... Let me try and show this from there. Where is it now? Have you ever seen somebody have visions like that? I've seen little samples of it, like that personally, thankfully, but like this is what it could look like. But that's a weird one. I've never seen something like that. But it looks like the sweep of the round of the eye, so I mean I could do that without touching it, but well, I'm not touching it. Touch on it a little. I mean, I did pause that part earlier when I watched it, so I don't know if we're just side by side. I don't know if we should be. It could be such a deep one. Well, they work out for work too, so maybe it'll come in for. So, I'll let you listen to. Okay. I mean, lovely piano, the lovely visual of me, looking at you. It was not their life, right? So, but anyway. Before they all roll in and keep us up late, because it's not a weekend, I shall wrap up. I'm glad that there was 2 or 3 chatters in the previous video, which I know to some people might seem like a lot, but it was good enough for me at the time, especially while I was cooking. And yeah, that these usually do well, and the interactions I had on other people's streams. And it's been a good YouTube day and a good day in general. And so yeah, I'll be wrapping it up now. Till tomorrow evening. Just wondering where I put that.